Hello! Lurk is fixed, it doesn't feel special to be the first one to use it. People buy... People hate. Thoughts and prayers. Ace Attorney music. Objection! I've never played an Ace Attorney game in my life, by the way. Donk Talk is in town. It's real. It's gonna be some donk talking today. I'm thinking we'll probably start with the Arknights trailers and stuff. That's a little bit more of a finite amount of content. Since it's the new CN trailer, and then there's just like the super quick, the very quick global trailer for the next event. Also, I think some of the stuff from the CN has also already been posted, like the full whatever. Yeah, like the actual previews and stuff or whatever. Let me try and open up some of these videos up. Oh, there is also a new episode of Banter show. Maybe we watch that as well. There's episode 4 of Banter. How can I get this? Trailer. Here's trailer. And then after we've after I've had the chance to look and yap on some of the new Arknight stuff, then we can hop into yapping about all the cantos. Yeah, I've also seen Xenesis. He's loony, but I mean, technically, he's still sleeping. Like, at least he's sleeping. He's not like, you know. He just sleeps on stream. But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good indicator of how long it can take to 100% a game like Tears of the Kingdom where you have fucking 9 korok billion collectibles. Or whatever. I actually, oh no, there's this one. Now, obviously, there is the new Arknight CN trailer. I kind of already know the operators, though. Pin message blocking the first chat. Yeah, it happens. Well, I mean, because it just blocks, you know, whatever's underneath it. It'll constantly change what chat it's blocking. Green sleeves? What the hell is that green sleeves? 6 still better. Yeah, we'll see if I am able to rank the cantos. Because Canto 8 is still so fresh. Actor die. Yeah, actor die. Yeah. I have not watched the trailer for that yet. But I know the 2 most important operators out of it. Obviously, one of them was kind of... Well, it was also leaked. But then it was kind of like, well, I mean, who else would it be? Green Sleeves the music? Yeah, I'm not familiar. I assumed it was music, I just wasn't familiar with him. Also, Pearly today is kind of like staring up into the sky a little bit. He's kind of at an angle. Very iconic, I'm gonna show you. Well, now I just have to... English folk song. Oh, this one. This one. Okay, yes. What's the best version? 7 fucking people mistook Miss Green for Mystic or Splashcaster. She's Primal Caster. Dude, reading is hard. No thoughts, Pearly. Yeah, not today. Only sometimes thought, Pearly. Only sometimes. It's aptly titled Green Sleeves Best Version. Let's see. What is it gonna be, huh? Sounds a little crunchy. "16 years ago, by the way. Look at these beautiful images. Mixed pictures and movies together to make the song even more relaxing and maybe better. Now this is some truly. I'm waiting for like some shit. The transitions are very cool, extremely. Windows Movie Maker core. It's a little crunchy. Feels sad, man. Life. So just a little crunchy. Just a little crunchy. They cooked 16 years ago. Life. What the fuck is he? What even is this? Hey, we'll call it 480p. Hell, no. It's the Earth round, right? Supposed to be a disc. Connection. We might not have time for connections today. We'll see. Dude, imagine streaming for free aspect ratio. That would be cool. Yizzos, the pixels. Yizzo took the pixels again. Look at that. That's at least 4 pixels. What? Really? Just a splash? The bitrate. The pixels are so bad on it that it's breaking bitrate because it's like grainy essentially. It's the same as putting like confetti on the screen, but it's just pixels. Incredible. Bitrate. Incredible. Look, it also like I feel like it kept getting worse. Like the images got like more and more pixely. Wow. Green sleeves. Perform my David Nabu. Cinema. Crazy. I did set the quality to 144p. This is true, but no. I'm sure it was intentional. Yeah, should we? Let's go. Look at some Arknights trailers so that I can actually finally watch them. Also, I have a new shirt, so I haven't cut off like the label or whatever. I just realized it's like tickling me. I hate that, Flippo. I have to cut it off at some point. Bleeding with joy. Shall we? No, I washed them, but I didn't cut the labels off yet, even though I washed them. Because these days some of them don't even come with like the normal label on them or whatever that ends up like, or some of the labels just aren't like the type that like annoy you. Nail cutting from Blue Archives. One way to put it. I mean, this is 15 seconds long for Senor Picos. Also, society. Ma'am? Thank God Elysium. Thank God Elysium is there. But ma'am ripped off the fucking... Ma'am? We need that one. And yes, Hisoka. Alternatively, wait. Alternatively, I would rather. He also very much just looks like Joker. The one thing is, dude, once you actually get to reading this, I cannot wait. I already know which CGs I can use for my thumbnails. I cannot wait to use these two as thumbnails. Especially this one. This one is so good. Society. Society! Look at him. Look at this fucking guy. Also, you know. What does he have running mascara, dude? I don't know. It's his style. It very much looks like it's like clown makeup. That was Jin Moran at the end of the trailer. Real. Where's Jin Moran? Almost. Yes, yes, it is. Monster Hunter reference, no way. Yeah, this also does have some Smiling Blitz energy, yeah. Yeah, Blaze is Funk Genesis. There's a reason why she's still kind of like a pretty commonly still used for like especially a lot of more like AFK stuff. Blaze is still just used. She just works. She just does her thing, and also she's just very cool. Also, she accidentally stole. Yep, accidental stealer. Here it looks even more like running mascara rather than like makeup. What is this aesthetic? Joker V2. This luckily isn't a too long event, but I probably won't be able to start reading because this event starts. Now it's actually, I think it's even posted. Well, obviously, yeah, it's been posted. It starts on next week, Thursday. What is it? 5th? Yeah, the 5th. I probably won't have time to read it next week, I think. At least not in on the Friday, Saturday. Because next week, Saturday, I'm probably going to be away. I'm going to be touching grass. And on Friday, I might not have time to like read the whole thing. Because also on Friday is Summer Game Fest, and I think we might just because it's at a reasonable time. We might just do a watch along of Summer Game Fest, and maybe before Summer Game Fest we can do like some roles for Thorn's Altar, since I do want to get Thorn's Altar. Niche Rockstar off their prime. We'll see. So probably the reading of this event will not be next week when it releases, but the week after. Probably. It's not a terribly long one, but it's still probably 2 streams unless I do like one much longer stream. So we'll see. Obviously the like normal trailer isn't out yet. It's just the animated trailer or the whatever. But this Annihilation has only 5 deployment limit. Is it one of those where you have to increase it with like devices? I think there's an Annihilation that has like the whole... You have like the devices that you have to click on. And then you get more deployment limit. Yeah. What kind of PC do you have? Threadripper and H100? No. I have a... What is it again? 7950X? And I mean a decent water cooler. I don't know why you suddenly asked, but Sim for Streamer. I'm surprised on the Discord. If you do not know, there are like roles or whatever. I'm surprised with how many people have actually chosen the I Simp for Streamer man role. I put that shit in as a joke. But okay. And I mean, maybe not surprising that a lot of the actively chatting ones are those with a streamer simping role. Handsome and affable, dude. If only I was Mr. Affable himself. And yeah, this is Phantom Altar indeed. Which was, when we learned of this event, that it's gonna be a Crimson Troop event, it was like, that probably means Phantom Altar, doesn't it? But I haven't watched this PV yet, and we also do have already some of the skins and stuff. And obviously there's a bunch of skins. I saw that there's an Ascalon skin, I believe, that I haven't actually seen properly yet. I didn't go and look at them sort of properly, so that I can see them here and then see posts of them. What shall we watch? Let me volume. I believe there's also, in this trailer, there's some surprise. There's some references in the visuals to like various horror IPs and whatnot, I believe. Looking. I'm also just really excited to get, I'm gonna keep pausing. Yeah, Twin Peaks, yeah, it was Twin Peaks at the very least. I'm just really excited that we're getting like a proper sort of story event for this stuff, rather than it being only in the roguelike stuff. It somewhat makes me hope that we might also get another story specifically for Sami, right? Like, we don't really have much Sami stuff outside of integrated strategies. So I'm hoping we probably get like a full 2-week story event for that stuff as well. IS, obviously, we have the entire Seaborn storyline, so that's kind of covered. But yeah, this is the Twin Peaks reference. And yeah, they updated IS2 to be more like the previous ones, mainly with adding all the difficulty mechanics. Which makes sense, because IS2 only had easy mode, normal mode, and hard mode. It didn't have like the actual ramping difficulty stuff. So I think it was a good idea to update it to be in line with the other ones, but just more replayability. So what's the quality at? What the fuck? The quality's at 144! I forgot I set it to 144! Let's restart! Dante! Thank you for the 10 months! Did I win? Probably. Yesterday I won, eventually. They tried to have me not win, but... Already a story for Sami. It's just the short one. It's just like an introduction to the roguelike. It's not like a full proper story event. It's one of the smaller ones. It's what they call it, a vignette event. Yeah, I was on 144p still. Whoops. Whoops. She look a little better now. Dissonance. Which I can't read, but it's fine. Oh, there's... That looks... I skipped accidentally backwards. I don't know if that's like The Shining or something else. This particular one. It seems like a reference to something. Not spooky at all. Oh, there's Playwright. Dizzers. Wait. I mean, the fact that it is just a cat that just meow. Meow. It's just a cat. Oh, Playwright. Oh, the voices have like a weird effect on them. Also, his name is now Tragodia. Tragodia. He looks cool. I mean, he always looked cool. Wait. Also, what was it? Oh, he's a ritualist. Oh. Hey. funky little enemies. There's a dinosaur in there. Oh. Ooh, the music. Good God, wow. The textures, Jesus. Also, cat. Was Tragodia Pheromone? I have to go Google. I don't remember at least. Oh yeah, Highmore skin. Oh yeah, it was a live 2D one as well. Why they got the sunflower from Elden Ring DLC though? Hey, who else was that? Was it just... Is that just who that? Is it just Highmore? Maybe it was... Oh no, Highmore. That's not Highmore. Who that? Who that? Huh? Oh, Underflow. Oh yeah, Trials. Oh, Morgan. Writer Morgan. Double record song. Oh yeah, also second module for Ascalon as well. Oh, Lucilia. Oh yeah, it was Lucilia, okay. My blind ass. Clearly defining the name of the Troop Master, so the question if Phantom is the new master or if it's maybe a schizo personality thing. Oh yeah, I didn't remember the Troop Master being... Well, did we hear... When did we hear the name for the Troop Master? Is this some like super deep lore shit? Oh wait, yeah, wait a minute. Yeah, this is French VA, wasn't it? In the middle, I didn't even realize. Well, because I can't fucking read. Yeah, it is. He gets French. No way. French. Oh no. Now we have French people in the game. I mean, makes sense because he's like ready to goal. Is it Dio's French VA? The language from Expedition 33, no way. Game got 2% worse. I want to see this Ascalon skin a little bit again. Okay, yeah, it was Scylla. Yeah, she went so quickly here on the skin, so I was like, suddenly. What even like theme upon another land? Oh, it's iteration provident. Yeah, it really is just. I can't not think of Elden Ring because of the massive sunflowers that are kind of drooping. Pattern recognition brain, man. Upon another land, is it actually Elden Ring? Holy moly, Elden Ring collab. Also it's pretty nice. Oh, Highmore was... I didn't even see Highmore here. I was like, where's Highmore? She's here, lying on the fucking floor. Looks like Shagaru. She does have the Shagaru, like, color scheme kind of going on. Especially with this stuff underneath here. That is kind of Shagaru. Yeah, because it even almost looks like wings a little bit. It's a little bit like moth-ish, which kind of what Shagaru is as well. Also, yeah, I guess you could even say that you could even argue that Ascalon's like powers are a little bit Shagaru-ish. Well, like essentially just like fucking giving you cancer almost. Well, actually, that's not how it is in lore, but in gameplay it is. Except, I mean, you have the smoky bits. Shagaru and Gormagala are a little smoky, kind of. Like I think I'd seen like fan art of this skin or something, and I think they just edited a little bit. They'd taken some artistic liberties and made it a little bit more revealing, and I was like, oh no, did they make like a very revealing massive booba skin for Ascalon? And I was worried, but never mind. I mean, she's still large, but she's always just been large. It's almost more. I mean, I'm not like, what is like the inspiration on this in general? Like the sunflower, and it's like, but then it's like a little bit nun-ish almost. I do also want to see like it in action, I guess, but I'll probably buy it. Maybe. Maybe. Nice. Also, I mean, well, we really focus on the skins a lot. Dude, the music and all the distortion, because he also, these voices, I think these voices have like a crazy amount of distortion or something on them. Yeah, they put on like some whack ass like sort of weird artifacts, distortions onto the voices. I can't even make out what she's saying. It almost sounds like she's speaking in reverse. Like, huh? I mean, you know, cat is cat, okay? Cat is cat. Yeah, Primal Caster. And she's the freebie. So we get a cat for free. They really did actually just make an actual cat an operator. And no voice actor, anything. It's just meow. Just realistic cat sounds. That's so based. It's incredible. Like, dude, this is some art. This is some reverse 1999 shit of just a cat. I have seen the cat is fine too memes. They were an obvious joint. Also, dude, look at these ones. Look at this cat right here on the other side as well. Fucking vibing. So what's with like them? You know, what's with the mirror? And obviously, I mean, she looks different in the mirror. The eyes are different. The little thing on her, whatever, is different. The little collar is different. E2 or E1? This is E1. E2 is here. Oh, never mind. Oh no, they don't show E2 art. I forgot. They don't show E2 art for. They only show the E2 art for. I mean, it's not just a cat, but like in a way, it's just a cat. It's kind of just a cat, even if yes, Christine is not a normal cat. I do have to go look at the operator preview for Miss Christine. I did see it earlier on Twitter, and I didn't look at it on purpose. Because it was something obviously interesting indeed. If indeed he, because either he takes over as the troop master, or he always was the troop master, or he takes over as the troop master, or there's some whack ass shit going on. Whack ass shit is very likely it's the Crimson Troop. He do be farming though. Look at her. Look at him. Also support a ritualist, huh? I wonder what element he's gonna be. I feel like necrosis would be the more obvious one that he would apply. I guess it could be nervous impairment or something as well, maybe? Oh, we see it as nervous impairment? Oh, we probably did, didn't we? Do they get... Okay, yeah, it's nervous impairment. Okay, I forgot, for a second I forgot we actually have nervous impairment now. So yeah, you get the paralysis, yeah. Miss Christine's operator description's out too. It's funny how she got hired. Did she get hired like a cat gets hired, where she just kind of hangs around and then, you know, people are like, I guess she works here now? Well, it would make sense that Christine, because it's a if Miss Christine is a ritualist caster, or primal caster, sorry. I guess it would make sense for her to pair with Tragodia's nervous impairment. And yeah, she's the welfare. Yeah, she's just the primal for nervous. Well, the 5-star primal for nervous. She might not be very good, so we'll see. But the thing is, well, okay. Nervous impairment can be really strong against certain enemies. Being able to stop normal attacks for some enemies can be insanely strong, even some bosses. But then for some other stuff, like if the dangerous shit from your boss or your enemy is like their special skills, then nervous impairment doesn't work on it. It would be funny if they have some interaction or nice synergy. Because yeah, at the very least, this is already out. Highmore skin is also out. I don't think we have anything else out yet. Oh yeah, also in the we have a manhwa for the Crimson Troop now as well, and we have Whitefire, Blade Dance, and Shadow. That little teaser. I do like the thing that they do now with the having like the sort of prelude suit comics. Yeah, Monmouth is one. Is Steam Knight as well, I guess. Well, I actually wonder with Steam Knight. I wonder with Steam Knight if his big charge attack is considered like a normal attack, then you can probably interrupt it, but otherwise it's just like the normal attacks. And for some reason YouTube is saying that I have low audio bitrate, which I think they're lying. I assume they are, chat. Like I said, I think we only have those for now. Yeah, we just have Miss Christine's operator details and Highmore skin. Oh, and I'll also go on, I'll find it on Twitter, the preview for Miss Christine. Very orange jacket. Supremely orange. One friend will be happy about this. They're a Highmore fan. Bubbles. Crab! Crab! It's an RA crab. No way. Crabbers. Oh, the enemy. Oh. he has the clackboard and he has like a lighting or microphone system or something. The enemies are it's fucking boom mics. Is there like 2 more skins in the vid? What? This vid? I finished this video all the way to the end. What are you talking about? What vid? Fucking boom mic enemies. Look at cat. Look at cat. Me stupid sometimes. There's the E2 art. Yeah, we have the E2 art. Oh, well, I mean... Oh, well, you have both Phantom Alter and original Phantom. Schizophrenia time? Bipolar disorder? Or something going on? Look what a majestic cat. So majestic. I'll actually put this on, sure. Oh, except we have to go listen to Christine's whatever still. Oh, Jesus, it's pretty huge. Oh, look at the cat do stretch. Wow. Cat stretching. Dude, we can have a cat in our base. Now, this is the base update that we need. Having a cat in there. Hell yeah. Okay, she also has like a double hit thing. And then like a little AoE, probably true AoE, little summon-y thing. Which, looking at this right now, what this looks like to me is, oh boy, enemies are gonna walk out of range and then you're not doing shit. Yeah, I'll go search up the preview for Miss Christine right away. Okay, yeah, I found them both. I mean, first of all, just I love Miss Christine. Dude, it's peak. We have cat. God, fucking Twitter video quality, fucking dog ass. I love how it has a bunch of text for the voice line when it's just. It's literally just it's a cat. It's like a. It's not actually just a cat. Like they're not a normal cat, but at the same time, it's just a cat. It's peak, and then you have this ominous music. You have this ominous music playing while a cute cat just goes. Look what a polite cat. Wonder how her E and dub will sound like. I think it's just gonna be the same cat sounds. Can she be part of the Limbus collab, please? Just so that we have cat in Limbus. Dude, fucking cat. It's amazing, man. Fucking peak. Finally, a good operator, man. Literally just a cat. So the voice actors literally someone can, I guess. Ah! They will get French cat to voice her. True. Doctor, what is this cat doing here? It's Miss Christine. She's the new squad leader. Why are you making a cat our new squad leader? I lost control of my life. On your Reddit comment. Thank you. She's more literate than you, Shadow. Real? Oh, here's also I think this is the Weibo introduction. Where are you looking, Doctor? Don't be surprised. You can understand me now. Long time no see. I'll allow you to pet me a little longer this time. HR operator awkwardly placed an employment application on your desk, stamped only with paw prints, and explained that Miss Christine had been doing this many times since returning from Rankwood. Seems she genuinely wanted to join as an operator. However, given the unusual circumstances, he wanted to consult your opinion. Drowning in a headache from never-ending work, you wearily asked him to leave, saying you'd give him a reply later. But the workload piled up like a mountain. When fatigue and hunger forced you to pause, you stretched your shoulders to ease the soreness and looked down to find a soft, dark fur ball curled up on your lap, its twin tails swaying gently, those sparkling blue eyes gazing at you. Meow. Snap. Without further thought, you stamped the application and signed your name. Somehow, this rule-breaking act left you feeling unusually light and cheerful. Satisfied, you stretched lazily, decided to credit Miss Christine for this, and set off eagerly for dinner. Very much how a cat would get hired. She just kind of walks in and is like, "I'm cute cat." Instantly, okay, approved. Man, that's good. They also illustrate Yuji. CV cat. It's a spirit that certain percent of attack is elemental damage to enemies who are under the burst effect from nervous impairment damage. Okay, so yeah, S3 doesn't actually like do elemental damage itself, except I guess, talent 1, it just no, yeah. Can inflict element damage, but only skill 1 actually gives her like elemental build-up. So, I mean, she's probably not going to be terribly good in gameplay, but that really doesn't matter when you're a cute cat. Genuinely curious if RI's HR division has given up at this point. Look, she's a smart cat. She's a very polite and smart cat. I mean, look at her. How can you say no to that? How would you say? How would you ever say no to that? Fantastic, fantastic kitty cat. Amazing. Truly amazing. Thank God for cat. She's staring into my soul. That's what cats do. Do they not? Oh, thank God I didn't scroll down on Twitter. There was some boobage. Never safe on that fucking platform, man. Do you get Miss Christine in Enfield? Dude, imagine. YouTube is constantly fucking complaining about audio bitrate right now. Why she might do that? Why you like this? Okay. Did I have something else I wanted to still mention for Arknights? Or talk about? Did I? I don't think so. Don't think so. Was there? Let me quickly go through some servers and see if I see something. Don't think so. There's been no Enfield news either. Other than the copium that we get something at Summer Game Fest. Don't think so. Nope. Well, there are at least 2 cat beast lords, I guess. The beast lord lore will show the silhouette of Mouse. It says 2 cat with the ink bottle. Oh yeah, probably. Yeah, if Miss Christine is also a beast lord, which I guess she very well might be. Oh yeah, then there's the Moose's E2 cat, indeed. Which really did come out of nowhere. Like, huh? Wait. Her cat is also a beast lord? I guess the cat beast lords just kind of choose someone to hang around with. Which is very cat of them, I guess, you know? Or rather, very house cat of them, because we obviously have big cats as well, but... Yeah, mobile CBT is still going for Enfield, at least I believe it is. But no news otherwise. You know, they're just testing the mobile version. And then if you're like desperate, you can try and do some like insane copium from some of the like mobile data mines or something, which I don't really believe in. Oh yeah, Egyptian cat. Yeah, well, also it makes sense that yeah, the Egypt XP would have a cat. This creature's apparently Beast Kin and not Beast Lord. Don't know what's the difference. So it's like Duck Lord, for example, is Beast Lord, but the bear, I believe, is just Beast Kin. Like they're just kind of like a lower like tier of Beast Lord in a way, of like that type of existence. Yvonne ban is active until 6th of June. Okay. Oh well, when Summer Game Fest is. Don't know if that's the duration of the beta, but I can't remember if what other, because Duck Lord is a Beast Lord. I can't remember if all the other ones related to Duck Lord are just Beast Kin and not Beast Lords. So like if Rat and Dog and Bear are all just Beast Kins. Bear at the very least is indeed just a Beast Kin. But yeah, they're just kind of like seemingly some lower tier Beast Lord or something. And I guess Miss Christine might indeed be that instead. I mean, could even... Well, yeah, no, because yeah, the one from Moose specifically should be Beast Lord because they were specifically teased in the Beast Lord, like, lore video. So, kinda would have to be. All right, Salawi. Oh, weirdly finished there. Shall we switch gears to talking about Limbus? Oh, Jesus Christ, that's bright. My God. Jesus Christ. Can I put this in dark mode? I don't think so. Oh, no, I'm just blind, I think. Then that's why we have ruin the music, just so we have some background music while we yap. Well, actually, real quick aside, just because a funny new development on a completely unrelated thing, the English voice actor for Paimon will no longer be voice acting Paimon. And if you know anything about what's going on over there, funny. But that's we don't have to get into more of it. But it funny. Breaking Elder TV was cruel. It was justified. They don't deserve TV privileges, okay? Nothing but it's mildly hilarious even without context. Somewhat. With context, it kind of becomes like karma. So give me just a second. I'll be right back. Okie dokie. Also, yeah, we were not the ones to break Elder TV, but also they fucking deserved it. TV privileges revoked. For good reason. So, I guess, where do we even start? Where do we even start, boys? Where do we even start? Like an overall thought on, I guess, especially now that I've had some time to think about it myself and also read what some friends had been discussing as well. And now that I'm not losing my mind from my 5% hell, because yesterday I was kind of fucking losing it. Like overall for I think so. How would I where do I start? Once I get started I can keep yapping. I'm wondering, where do I want to start? I mean, it's a first of all, I mean, it's just a good canto. Canto 8 is, I think, it is the most like consistent canto they've done. Like the pacing of Canto 8 is spot on like the entire time. Like we quickly mentioned yesterday, Canto 8 is now the like by word count and so on, is the longest canto. But it doesn't really feel like it because it's so damn well paced. Almost in every other canto, you can at least, at some point, it's, you know, the pacing kind of has some changes in it and it's a little bit more up and down in just how it feels to like go through. Canto 8 is just kind of a super smooth ride from beginning to end. Which, I mean, generally is just a good thing. but I think it also somewhat shows where I agree. A friend sent this, and I agree. Where Canto 8 doesn't have, actually, he put it so well that I'm just actually gonna find what he said. He put it so well. Where did he say it? You're just gonna get this verbatim. But this is a part of sort of part 3, but this is part of part 3, but I think this kind of goes for a lot of the Canto. I feel like the climax itself wasn't as cracked as of the previous Cantos, especially 4, 6, and 7, but both the consistent narrative, the amount of cool characters, and actual character relations made up for it, which I agree with. Where it's... Indeed, it doesn't have like the same kind of like insane highs, or it doesn't have like the same kind of insane hype moments or like sort of really raw emotional climaxes in the same way that some of the other Cantos have. But then it's such a tight package in otherwise in how it handles such a large cast of like new characters, and also just introducing the entire nest and corporation and family system and everything that circles around it. And part 3 also teasing like a crazy amount of like larger world stuff that other Cantos haven't really done that much. Part 3 of Canto 8 shows us and teases a lot more like essentially like longer overarching like bigger world building stuff more than any other Canto, I feel. Raid birds are obviously a pretty explosive narrative impact, but the thing is, even with the raid birds, you know, it like very gradually builds up to it. Like, you know, it's the whole meme of it's the trolley problem, except you're just watching it go like drive over people, because you constantly see it coming. Like, you know, you're going to some kind of absolute disastrous situation. It doesn't sort of like surprise you in that way, but oh boy, is it still fucked up. Because people were expecting Honolulu to break down a lot more. True, even I was. Actually, even I was expecting Honolulu to have more of a breakdown. So I think, especially if you had that expectation and really wanted to see that, I could see what you'd be like somewhat disappointed. Like, I feel like there could have been more of that, but at the same time, it maybe doesn't fit Hongloo's character that well. And it also doesn't fit... I think it doesn't fit the type of depression that Hongloo's story is like about. How's the analysis going? We literally just started. Like, it would have been it kind of would have been nice to see, but then we've had that kind of breakdowns already for like some other characters, so handling it in this way I think is still somewhat interesting. But indeed, it would be somewhat almost out of character and not representative of the kind of depression that Hongloo is about. Because people just love the idea. Yeah, people have just headcanon and they love the idea of like distortions and so on. Hongloo chose detachment. Yeah, like Hongloo's sort of repression and detachment of everything doesn't result, because it's sort of the apathy and nihilism. You don't then, when that cracks, right? When that cracks and he starts changing, it doesn't show itself as like an emotional sort of outburst, really. Or at the very least, it doesn't really, it would kind of be a little out of nowhere. It probably, like, yeah, you know, always when it's like raw and emotional and so on, it's like very cathartic. But maybe wouldn't have fit the situation. However, just on this kind of topic of the catharsis and like the emotional climaxes and so on, for sure, part 2 actually was like the sort of character climax almost for Hongloo. Like, the fight with Jachu was almost like the most climactic part of the story. When, you know, we're so used to and kind of conditioned for cantos to be all about breaking down, like, the wall or whatever that a sinner has put up. And usually that's saved until the very end, like, to the finale. But in this case, they handled it in part 2 already. And then part 3 was more actualizing it and putting it into action and actually having him, like, act according to the change. And then also doing kind of a bunch of, you know, world building stuff and so on as well. So it was just handled differently, which, however, is kind of nice. So that doesn't, because otherwise I feel like you would start getting almost like too formulaic. If it's always like, okay, it's part 3, it's Millie's song, we're gonna get like the breakdown and the insane emotional catharsis right at this moment. Like, you almost get too formulaic if you do that every single time. And I think Honglu's Kanto was a good chance to change it up because it fit and it worked. Because then if you used it on some other, you know, I feel like Honglu was the good sinner choice to do that on. Him saying he generally wanted to watch Shishun smile was way better than any crash out he could have had. Real. Dude, and a friend also posted the line when they were having like the whole birthday party where Honglu used his birthday as a way to celebrate Shishun's birthday instead. And then the line of, sometimes it's nice to be celebrated just for the fact that you exist, is such a huge line for a character like Honglu. Like, that's huge. Massive. Ryoshika being absolute emotional clusterfuck from part 1. I would almost expect it. I would not be surprised if Ryoshu Kanto almost goes like the opposite way, where it's an insane emotional clusterfuck and like much shorter, like it's super fast-paced and aggressive. It would probably fit the book somewhat, because the book is also like really short. It's a short story, not a full book even. So you might get something like that. But I think also Ryoshu Kanto is probably going to use a lot of time exploring the syndicates, the fingers, more. So. But it's also just interesting, I mentioned this to a friend. I'm very interested in how they'll actually handle the sort of theme of that. Because like mainly based off like Jachu's comment about the path of Asura, which, if you're not aware of, I actually got this like little definition that I searched for up earlier. Like, this clicked in my head. This clicked in my head immediately when he said it, but I didn't like go into it on stream. But Shura or Ashura or Asura, a Japanese way to call the Buddhism demigod of war Asura. In Japanese, we sometimes use it to describe a person who fell into a situation in which they have to fight an endless war against something in a relentless or inhumane manner. And that's what Jacho was being like. Ryoshu's gonna go on a fucking rampage, by the way. Like, that's what she wants. So I'm really interested in seeing how they handle that. Of like, you could argue Ryoshu's Kanto being about her going like down a path of nasty, nasty shit. But that's good. I guess just maybe getting a little sidetracked out of Kanto 8 specifically. But next Kanto might be all kinds of fucked up. And like significant, like real fucked up and violent and... Despite the reasoning behind his usual demeanor, the fact is he didn't feel anger or such causes things that I could not parse that sentence, sorry. Some people saying it's underwhelming, but I think it fits. I can see that. It just has, it doesn't indeed have like those big, huge cathartic moments quite in the same way as some of the other cantos. And because people have somewhat come to expect those things. And also, I think there's one thing is that part 3 just feels like such a different part 3. Because part 3 feels like almost a bit epilogue-ish. Like an extended, so well, not, kind of, sort of, like half epilogue-ish. And then also like somewhat like the bosses on it Like the bosses were kind of cool, but not like as big of a deal. Like the bosses for actually just in general for Kanto 8, other than Jachu, I feel like in general the fights and the bosses in Kanto 8 didn't feel as significant. They didn't have the same presence, I think, as some of the other bosses, like especially main bosses. Like the main boss, let's just get into it. The main boss of Kanto 8, I've seen this a bunch of times and I do agree, almost feels like more of a victory lap situation. Like Jamu just does not have like the aura to speak in Zoomer language, does not have the aura to be like a very hype climactic final boss, but it's somewhat the point, but it's very easily then for many readers does leave like a sort of underwhelming feeling, because it's kind of like it's a victory lap almost, which at that point is like fine to have. But for sure, yeah, it's like in that sense like an underwhelming boss somewhat. Also, I feel well, first of all, I haven't the full melee song is not out yet. I haven't like listened to the Lunatic version of it or anything. I'm waiting. It releases tomorrow, so I'll just be listening to them. But like the implementation of the melee song was kind of just normal this time. I felt like they didn't do anything like super interesting with the implementation of the melee song. It didn't have like as big of a presence, I think, as the other ones. Which I think is also just part because indeed the boss wasn't like as big of a deal. And also the boss boss just kind of takes a while. It's like the boss is almost this little kind of chore that you do during it to get some of those other moments that they wanted to tell, like the flashbacks. Because for example, that was actually one thing that I really did like about the final boss and kind of the storytelling of it was them actually going through like Honglu recollecting all the emotions and bits from the previous cantos, like, oh, this story, and like, or not even like the canto, but like, oh, this is about Gregor, this is about Rodia, like how he was looking and observing and kind of in some way intaking these emotions, and now he's actually like letting them boil up to the surface, that he's let go of his apathy and nihilism. Of the subversion of Honglu's "my days are numbered" to "my days are numbered, but I wouldn't have it any other way." Oh yeah, YOLO. Does have a lot of symbolism of being a mix of all animals, alongside Asia being Pisces and Chinese zodiacs and basically being 13 animal. Yeah. Like I think there's a bunch of like visuals and whatnot and stuff about Jamu that's cool, but it's just like she feels more like a kind of, I don't know, like how would you say, like set piece, or like kind of a means to an end rather than like a boss with a true self-purpose to it. If that makes sense. Which sometimes is fine, but I mean, I'm not surprised that it would leave some people with like an underwhelming feeling. The worm vibing with the rhythm of the song. I think it just means how John was also a victim of the situation in a sense. Yeah, I was talking about this with a friend earlier. He did also say this. Where was it? Yeah. This is just about the elders in general. Actually, if I was the boss before her. This is about the elders just in general. Well, first of all, and one also, isn't it crazy how thanks to the attack titaning going on with the hierarch, if Honglu were born a generation later, it would have been Shishun committing all those atrocities? Oh no. But then it's kind of rough to even find someone specific to hate when in the grand scheme of things everyone was a victim of the brainwashing and then had whatever remained of them rotted by time. Kind of real. To some extent. I think a bunch of them also were just probably like kind of shitty people even before it, and then it was just like enhanced with the whole hierarch thing. At first I responded with just all old people are evil, which is true. But yeah, good point. We even had Shishun comment on how one of them was what used to be a kind uncle to her. So clearly, like, there was an uncle in there who was just a kind person, a good guy, then turned into one of the hierarchs and becoming this terrible immortal being. And then I went on, so it kind of just plays more and more into the idea of coveting this immortality slowly erodes your humanity. And with the elders, you get a very visceral, direct manifestation of it. They barely look human, and they've like lost all of their morals and ethics to this huge desire for immortality and what. And once, like, first they're trying to get this immortality, and they're so focused on that instead of living in the moment. And then once they are immortal in some form, not true immortality, they're then like, they're so tied to their immortality, and that they're like not even like, they're not having a good time. They have to go through this insane, absolutely psychopathy to have any entertainment and whatnot. Where it's very much this idea of, and in general, in Canto 8, a huge theme is like humanity, like what it means to be just like a human, and part of that is eventually dying. So it really ties into the theme of like this whole immortality thing just strips you of your humanity. And of course, extremely important theme of Canto 8 is crazy, insane, generational Asian trauma. And yeah, Jamu is like a victim of the cycle, but also I'm absolutely sure that Jamu was a seething, insane woman before she became a hierarch. She was seething since she was a child about like the Shi family falling off or whatever. And was just like a terrible, entitled, vengeful bitch even before she became a hierarch, and then it got even worse. Then she just got the power to act on it, essentially. And yeah, the worm overrides the person's brain to some extent, but I think that there is a part of them that still, like, you know, stays as them, even if a bunch of it does essentially get like overridden by the worm. But there's like some element that still stays there. They still have like kind of some parts of their personality or human, like, personhood. Jamu made Ahab look good, real. However, when you do think of it, part of Jamu indeed now, is that part of it is because of the worm and the elders, while Ahab, dude, Ahab's insanity is all homegrown. That shit hasn't been imported from a disgusting old worm in any form. That girl, that woman, that grandma, she's all personally just insane. All natural, all homegrown. So it does somewhat, it slightly changes the perception. Was there anything else to do? Specifically in... Oh yeah, also, dude, Zilu. What? My comment on Zilu. She went from henchman to who the heck is this goat so fast in part 3. Which is kind of like, she was, you know, she didn't do like that much. She was just kind of a henchman to Jachu. And then suddenly now she's like an incredibly interesting character in like such a short time span. By the way, I'm golden. She just steps out of nowhere and just be like, fuck yeah. I'm actually suddenly like way more of a character. Zilu the announcer is really funny. Is Zilu, yeah, and as an announcer, you can't fucking make out a word she's saying. Because of her fucking... Called us a cute nickname, too. Am I gonna play at Enfield? Of course I am. I am Enfield's biggest fan. I've been a fan of Enfield for 30 years. Anything else in here that I had to comment on? I feel like I had some thoughts. I for sure have some thoughts. I've just forgotten shit, man. I didn't write anything down. Make elders announcer. Fan of insult in third strike. What was there? There was something for sure. Oh, how did I can't believe I almost forgot about this. Well, first of all, the actual parallels between the elders and like essentially Limbus players, where the elders are just fans of the Limbus company, the game, following the cantos, having their favorite characters and everything. That's just wild. They just fucking went for it. Actually, they're actually just the players backseating to crazy. It's fucked up. Also, I'm just so glad that their fucking TV was broken and that they will be suffering them in there for who knows how long. That's all that's like, that happened. I'm satisfied. But right. So not even low, actually, I was gonna say low key, one of my favorite things about the canto. Not even low key, high key, one of my favorite things about the canto. Like the part that got like the biggest emotional reaction out of me, though it might not have looked like on stream, because I feel like yesterday I felt it was very low energy somehow. Looking back on it, I feel like it was quite low energy yesterday on stream. I don't know why. But one of my favorite parts, just straight up, of the entire canto was Yi Sung stepping up and like recognizing and relating and empathizing with Honglu and trying to like help him, and just straight up talking to him like, hey bro, I see you, my guy. That shit was so ideal. Like, Yi Sung was already one of my favorite sinners, and he just can't stop winning. Like, goddamn. Like, it was a fucking incredible moment, man. Actual cinema. It's crazy. I wish I could find the actual fucking exact line for it from somewhere. Maybe, I don't know, someone maybe posted it somewhere, but fuck, it was incredible. I love that shit, man. Like, that was one of those things where I'm like, I'm so glad they did it. It's one of those things where you think of like, God, I hope they have this kind of interaction, because, you know, from the very beginning, we very much identified that we have two like different representations of depression in Yi Sung and Honglu. So having these two then interact and have that connection now in Canto 8 was huge. Also, the war veterans as well. Having the war veterans also just like connect on this canto. In general, that was like, okay, that was one thing that I also wanted to say. It fits the canto theme incredibly well, because obviously a big part of the canto theme is like, you know, family and whatnot, like sort of both blood related family and also found family to some extent. Obviously found family is way more Canto 7, but during Canto 8 and now after Canto 8, the sinners really do feel even more like a found family. Like, a bunch of connections have been made, and like they've bumped heads more directly, but then also like compromised and made connections with their similarities. So there was like so many just like good little extra connections and explorations, like these interactions between sinners that you've wanted to see for a long time, because there are characters who have like similar backgrounds or similar issues, similar problems. It was so nice to see that shit like on screen actually happening, rather than one of those things which ends up being like this. You end up because sometimes some of this stuff you only end up seeing in like fan content, in like some fan-made comic or other, instead of having it actually happen on screen in the story, in the game, straight up canon. most characterized Kanto. Almost, yeah. Also, I mean, there's just a bunch of new characters as well. Kanto 8 has a lot of new, like, sort of more important present characters, NPCs as well. Which obviously makes sense with, you know, what the source book is. And then just also, yeah, in part 3, just a whole bunch of out of nowhere, like, huge lore drops of the Pinky and whatnot. It's like, huh? Huh? I think Otis first pretended to respect it, now she really does. Yeah, I think so. Also, do Dante's lines as well. Dante's lines about how he actually also empathizes with Honglu just through a different direction, because he also has this emptiness as he doesn't have his memories. So he has an emptiness that he can actually relate to with Honglu, and he's like giving Honglu, you know, the pep talk, and then he switches, and then Dante switches it, and how do I know this? Because I'm talking about myself, exactly. Fucking cinema. Insane. Dante always also just gets better every canto, which I mean, yes, because every canto is actually hidden Dante canto, but also, yeah, you know, just Coffee Man cameo suddenly out of nowhere, just name dropped. Like, damn, okay, sheesh. Wasn't expecting that. But that part was also incredible. Or like just really cool to see. He's shining as well. Hello. Hello. Let's go to Gachem is a little clock. All shall be made equal in my mercy. The writing is this fire? No way? And yeah, Dante is indeed... Dante has never been a self-insert. Absolutely not. They're indeed... They have started as an empty thing. But the game is not about you inserting into it. It's building up and filling Dante with personhood. And that brings something to my mind, okay? That brings something to my mind. What if after we've gone through all the Sinner cantos and then we maybe get, you know, like the final Dante canto, what if that shit ends with Dante getting a voice? What if at some point during a cutscene, like a peak cutscene, a climax, the ticking and talking stops and a voice comes out? The amount of cinema that would be, holy sheesh. Now I really want to see that happen. Where he can finally speak himself or themselves. Years for that. Let's go. Well, we still have a couple years, don't we? How many years? 2 cantos a year? We have 9, 10, 11, 12 at least. So that's at least 2 more years. Ticking is the ultimate emotional medium. I think of ZZ Anniversary. I don't follow ZZ at all. Dude, and then having a pass on with the new VA, true. Crazy. Because it would essentially, it would be like Canto 13 essentially. Because Canto 12 would be the last, like, playable Sinner Canto, so it would be forced. And then Canto 13 would be, probably would be some kind of like more overall Canto for the Sinners as a whole, and probably more focused on Dante specifically. They pass on, but it's just clock sounds. That would also be pretty good. Yeah, it would be like the end of Inferno. Would Fafa Kanto be called the all-knowing? I mean, maybe. Faust doesn't know everything. Faust just knows what Faust knows. Favorite line from Dante was him saying you can walk side by side with them, but only they can save themselves. Which is true. Yeah, it's very nice in the context of gacha game, which I love since most gacha that the MC fix the problems for the characters. It's really nice in the sense of a gacha game, but it's also like it's such a cheesy line. Like, it's just straight up like a cheesy ass line you would get in like a movie about therapy or something, where it's like, only you can save yourself. It's a little cheesy. I thought it was a little cheesy, but it works, but still. Last pass on is the course of all 12 sinners. That could also be. Or they like, they all have like their own lines. Force knows what Force knows is her basically saying what's up straight up. She didn't hide that she has the Discord. Yeah, no. Force doesn't never like really lie. She just she maybe lies by omission, you know. She doesn't directly say she has a Discord or whatever. Game really makes me wonder what they'll do after they're done with all the characters. Actually, this canto specifically actually has me thinking about that more. Because the very end of this canto very specifically talks about how eventually all the sinners, like this little group we have right now, will go their own ways. It will like dissolve and break up. And they're gonna go their own ways. And maybe they meet again, maybe they don't. Like that was a whole part of the ending. So I do wonder, once we've gone through all of them, I do wonder what happens. However, there is also, there's the part that first of all, you know, if right now we're adapting the Inferno, there's indeed 2 more books. I think someone said them earlier, and it was Purgatorio and Paradiso for like more books. So we could keep going, and also let's be real, we're not exactly done with the character stories after we do the 12 sinners or the 12 first cantos, okay? We have cantos 1, 2, and 3 at the very least, which need quite a bit more to them, you know? Like, Canto 2 did not really have a true character arc to it. Canto 1, kinda same thing. Nothing was really solved. Canto 3 was just setting up some wild-ass shit for later. So, we have a lot more to go after the first 12 cantos, it feels. And yeah, we have the entire plot with Herman and all the kinds of shit. There's a whole bunch of stuff that can happen even after we've had the cantos for the sinners. Like, specifically. And even after we have the first 12 cantos, we still have stories for sinners that are, like, not complete. Because for some of these, you know, for some of these cantos, you can kind of see, like, some of these sinners do have a little bit more of a complete, sort of character arc and sort of more finished story. Though almost all of them also have like some little teases to further stuff still, even if it's not directly character development stuff. It's like sort of these remnants of after effects and whatnot that still have to be dealt with in some way. Or the big plot with Herman and her desire to nuke all mirror worlds to create actual human, you know, in context of how humanity's current shape is decided by the head. Oh yeah, cake of singularity refers to previous form. Previous form, no previous form of humanity. What do you mean? It's called monkey. It's actually all about returning to monkey. Reject modernity, return to monkey. No way. Yeah, also, yeah, we still have, indeed, we do have the event that kills how many millions of people still coming up? Yeah, no. It is a big reveal of Canto 4, yeah. But also, return to monkey joke is always funny. Also, so far, every time there's some kind of actual human or like the pure human, they don't seem to be very good. Like, or as in like, they seem to be like a terrible existence that's just like constantly suffering. So, I don't know if it's a good thing to aim for. Here's the sinners will fully manifest their ego once the stories are completed. I mean, at some point you would expect us to get some form of ego manifestation situation going on, wouldn't we? But that probably would be a good bit later. After done with all the Sinner cantos and Dante, I can see 1 or 2 more cantos going for like final boss fight or something. I mean, I think there's going to be more than that. Like a good bit. I feel like there's still so much more to like kind of discover. Especially when we have some sinners who pretty much need like a second canto to be able to actually like explore them. Is it going to do 10 years of Limbus? Well, did they ever say they're going to do 10 years or more like we could go 10 years? However, because also, I feel like I don't know why I hear every single goddamn gacha game for some reason always quote the 10 years thing. Like, oh, we have a 10-year plan. And I'm just like, why is it always a 10-year plan thing or whatever? It's like, huh? If we see a monster from the outskirts, ruins use ego or Shinmung, then we'll basically confirm the theory of there being no fundamentality of human existence. Hell yeah. All is futile. And yeah, Canto 12 should indeed been in 2 years, with 2 cantos a year, every 6 months. So there's still a lot. If they actually go for 10 years, that's indeed a lot. There's still many years after that. 6 years still to go after that. Oh yeah, oh yeah, by the way, we didn't get that this time. We didn't have Dante's clock fingers advancing this time. We didn't get that this time. Maybe we get it into Intervallo. I feel like the next Intervallo might be more directly connected to Canto 8. So it might almost... The next Intervallo... I wouldn't be surprised if next Intervallo works as an additional epilogue to Canto 8 stuff. More directly. But yeah, this Canto we didn't get the whole thing of Dante's clock moving. Shishun training arc. Real. Wasn't the thing during Canto 4 and 7? Or did we not? Maybe we didn't have it every Canto. It was just a few. At the very least, Canto 7 had. Did we have it in... We have it in Canto 7 at least once before that. Maybe we only had it 2 times before. 6 and 7? Oh, maybe that's why I felt like it was starting to happen every Canto, if it was 6 and 7. Also remember, also apparently Canto 4 as well. Canto 4 would make sense because it's like the first, you know, post-release Canto. It's 4 and 7? Okay. Maybe it was. 6 didn't have it? Okay, never mind. When would AK collab come out? They said September, I think. That's still the only time frame that we have for the collab, is like maybe September. But then, you know, it's a Limbus roadmap, so it's all a little bit in the air on when exactly. Walp into AK collab gonna be rough. I don't think we're gonna see... Well, I guess we might. It could be. I guess Walpurgis could be close to it as well. But we could, because we're supposed to have a Walpurgis pretty soon here. In like a couple weeks or whatever, don't we? So actually, yeah, isn't Walpy like the next thing? Like, it's not gonna be next week, but maybe the one after that even. Yeah, Cookie is reading chapter 0 to 5. It's a very different experience. 100% in June. Well, yeah, it makes sense that would at the very least 100% be in June, in the next month. Yes. It would be nice to get a new roadmap, though. Would be cool. Do you think we'll fight Ricardo again in Canto 9? I almost expect us to, yes. I mean, it would fit. You know, next Canto is going to have a lot to do with the fingers. So, I would almost hope so. Because my theory, right? My theory after the second time we had Ricardo, my theory was that the Ricardo issue will get solved, or like we will have our final confrontation with Ricardo during Canto 9, which is all about the fingers. So I feel like could be very possible. Like, you get a roadmap during the next big live stream, whenever that might be. I can't remember how often they have them. We have the Great Sister. No. Can you ability every Canto now? The way we're going, we should have Malkuth's ability to Canto 14. yeah. Not a stream where KGH is just, okay, let me do the pre-nerf boss to see how bad it is. And yeah, Purple, since Ricardo is part of the middle, I feel like, you know, it might make sense. Also, that was actually something that a friend also... On the fingers... Because, like, obviously, you know, you have the thumb, obviously, you have the index, you have the middle, you have the ring. So this is the pinky. This is a very, like... I wonder how the visuals of the pinky is gonna, like, tie into what we... The tiny bit that we now know about the pinky is like, huh. How does this, like, relate to it? Guy's gonna trade and increase his level to match our strength. What? He already outmatches us. Yeah, it is like, it's very, like, huh. How is this gonna be like... Or how does this tie into the just Pinky's themes and whatnot? Young can also appear. Can Young appear? He distorted. Is he cool? Is he okay after Ruina, or is he not? Pinky is usually connected to promises, yes. Oh, also, this ended. I feel like Young was possibly cooked because, you know, he didn't just get normally booked. He first distorted and then got booked. All converted books got back alive. No, well, no, because it depends on what situation did you get booked, though. You know, because also, yeah, did he indeed distort before even entering the library? And then, for example, Tomeri was already a horrible being before getting booked. They return to the state that they were in before they turned into a book. They don't get fixed. If they were fucked up before they became a book, they're fucked up after coming out of the book as well. So some of the people are not cool. They are, like, not safe. You know? Things are apparently based off the 5 virtues. Confucian is a twisted version of them, at least. I wouldn't be surprised. I guess, yeah, we could have LCB, like, hunting Yun down or something, but... Maybe they became a better person after being a book for a bit. Yun wasn't a bad person, by the way. Yun was specifically a good person, and that's why they distorted. Do you think elders are an audience fandom stand-in? There's absolutely a part of it that is supposed to be like an audience stand-in. Dude, they have their favorite cantos and their favorite sinners. You could also make some arguments that in some way, the concept of an audience or a fandom is almost a little bit immortal. Because the individuals in a fandom sure might die, but like the concept of a fandom and an audience for something is almost a little immortal. And you could also argue that while it's made up of it's made up of humanity, but as a collective, an audience or a fandom is not human, even if it has human elements to it. I'm cooking philosophy. Interval where he go around doing stuff with abnormality, lacking interactions with abnos, especially sentient. How many sentient abnos are there around? Which elder is the elitism? I wonder. I'm sure you could identify one of them. Just like bring the chicken guy back from distortion. Maybe someone can or had already done with that. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's possible that he got back from distortion somehow, but. I guess a bunch of them do talk, technically. Wheelchair Grandma was the Fujoshi. No, Wheelchair Grandma was the thing from SpongeBob. There's an elder who ships for sure. For sure. I'm also quite interested in how the Otis canto will go. Considering you're gonna get some smoke war shit, and also, you know, it's like the Odyssey, which is quite interesting. I mean, actually, on the topic of Canto 8, there are some parts of Canto 8 where it's sort of, I think some parts of it don't resonate with me the same as the others that we've had so far, just because of like essentially the culture. You know, Canto 8 is very steeped and heavily inspired by traditional Chinese culture and whatnot, which obviously I'm just not familiar with. I don't live that shit. So I feel like a lot of that kind of stuff goes over my head more, or it just doesn't sort of resonate in the same way. So like, and especially okay, do I try and rank? Where would I put Canto 8? How good do I think it is? I mean, Canto 8 had a bunch of criticisms about just like those traditional Asian like cultures and whatnot. Not a culture thing, it's a personal thing. But I feel like if you were part of something like of the culture like that, there are more aspects of it. You know, as someone I'm from the West. So any of these sort of Asian family dynamics don't resonate with me because I've never been around anything like it, really. Obviously, you have families in the West that are more similar to it, but at least I personally did not have any of that stuff, so. I'm already also, I want to just hear the Millie song once it's actually fully out. It was an interesting choice. I don't think it's going to end up being like my favorite Millie or anything. And like, an interesting choice for, I don't think it's bad necessarily, but I also didn't like necessarily super vibe with the song in the way that it was used in the story. The song itself is a vibe, it's a bop, but like, this kind of was more of a deconstruction of Book Honglu, praise proper Confucianism versus discarded Confucianism. Yeah, which is also like, that's the thing, because I'm also not as familiar with sort of the Asian philosophy side of stuff as much. So a lot of that also I'm not as familiar with. So I don't have like, I cannot vibe intuitively with Canto 8 as much as I can with a bunch of the others. Because it's just, it has a lot of concepts and ideas and inspirations that are just not familiar to me in the same way. Like even from just like tiny little things from like just normal life as well. It's just very different from what I've grown up with. Which I feel like, because I feel like a big thing with cantos, with Limbus in general, a huge part of what ends up being someone's favorite canto is how much they can resonate and oh god, what's the fucking word? Relate to the ideas and themes and struggles that are presented in that particular canto. I feel like that has a huge effect on like what your favorite is. Much more so than like any specific, like, oh, does it have good writing? Does it have good pacing? Does it have a bunch of interesting characters? It's way more. Limbus is more focused on just sort of, or what ends up being your favorite and what people end up talking about is the stuff that's like more resonant with them. And yeah, like lots of people like Canto 4 because it really does represent that form of depression very well. Which, I mean, Honglu also does do. Honglu is just a different type. But then it, you know, has all the other stuff around it as well. A lot more than Canto 4. Like, Canto 8 does a lot more things rather than just explore the sinner specifically. It's a little bit more widespread in that way. And it's also like Canto 8, I think overall is kind of like the best written or the best paced. Like, Canto 8 is like, technically, I feel like the best canto. But it's not, it might not even be in like my top 3. Just because of more the subject matters and so on. So I don't know what I'd rank it. I haven't really, I still haven't really ranked the cantos in any like significant way in my brain. I don't have like an ultimate tier list of whatever. And yeah, also I really like Compass as well. I still, Compass might still be my favorite Limbus Millie. Though Hero has also gone stuck in my head at times, but Hero goes like all over the place. So some parts I like less and some parts I like more of Hero. But then Compass is just like good all through and has a unique, cool vibe to it. It's well made, if not best made. You simply didn't like the story as much as others, pretty much. Because like I said, I feel like your favorite and how much you like a canto is really heavily based on essentially how much the canto plays into like just your biases. And Canto 8 plays into my biases less than other cantos, even though it is probably objectively sort of the most solid canto so far. And just handles things quite a bit differently. Like, it's such an even, consistent experience. But sometimes you actually prefer an experience that has more like ups and downs in it. There's like something more resonant. I really like the word resonant apparently when talking about Limbus and cantos. Like sometimes more ups and downs is like actually like hits you harder. Like engages you more. Even though Canto 8 was specifically very engaging because it was so damn well paced. You were never bored with Canto 8. It was just so damn well paced. Like I said earlier, it's the longest canto, but it doesn't feel like the longest canto because it's so well paced. In general, I feel like immediate isn't necessarily because it's written well, just because it tickles your biases. Yeah, like that's the thing. When it comes to like your favorites, you know, not what do you think is like the best or whatever, in more objective sense. When it just comes to your favorites, I feel like most people, their favorite something is usually something that has a bunch of flaws that some people would find like completely unacceptable, but there's something in there that just like connects and is like, yes, that's me. Like, that's for me. This was made for me. Also, yeah, the Honglu's like ego portion at the finale was so animated. It really was like, whoa, this is a lot more animated than previously. It was like almost 3D. It's like, sheesh. Also, and however, now, yes, the Kong annihilation scene now is fucking iconic, though. Like, damn. if there's nothing else iconic out of this canto, part 2 I feel like we've added a couple iconic bits now with part 2 specifically. I feel like with part 3 not as much, but part 2 with the Jachu battle and the Kong Annihilation scene, that shit is now iconic. Wasn't almost 3D, it actually was 3D, but it was like in 2D style, you know? It wasn't full 3D, it was just they made 2D kind of 3D-ish. No, they took a really long time. Yeah, this one indeed. This one took like extra time. It wasn't like quite 6 months. It was a bit more. Nice change of pace for something more chill and relaxing experience. At the end, they usually big loud fight. Yeah, we kind of talked about it earlier, where Canto 8 takes a different approach to the sort of dynamic or the pace of the canto, where actually your biggest emotional climax was in part 2, and then part 3 is to some extent a victory lap and just a very different ending. Like they switched up the formula, because otherwise we're so used to part 3 Millie song being your biggest emotional climax, which it usually has been, or essentially always has been. How memorable part 3 was for you compared to part 2? Honestly, nowhere near. Part 2 is far more the more memorable part of Canto 8 than part 3. For sure. Love the ego moment is I'm gonna let all the tears I've bottled up for years flow. And dude, that was a lot of tears. Fucking drowned them. Also, the dungeon in part 2 was just like, what the fuck? It's part 2, it's a dungeon? But in a weird way, part 3 indeed almost feels like less of a finale to a canto than like it usually does. For better and for worse. I think it's a good mix-up, but I'm not surprised that some people would be like almost like disappointed with it or underwhelmed. But I think it works. It's fine. I don't need every single like part 3 to be like some insane climax. Sure, what you're disagreeing with it. It's just for better? Well, no, because I can see people's, like, I can understand why someone would not be as happy with part 3 not being the big climax. People like their big climaxes to be towards the end of the thing. And to, like, be what you end on, you know? It's just an emotional thing. It's like, you like to end on the high. And arguably the high of Canto 8 was the fight with Jachu. So it was the first time LCB won. That is true though. Just in general, everything went like surprisingly well with Canto 8. Like we kind of got out really well this time. Yeah, just unconditional victory. First time fucking ever. It's like, huh, damn, okay then. Like very, as one person I saw put it, Canto 8 extremely hope-pilled. Where, indeed, for example, yeah, one thing that I was expecting was indeed, I was expecting to see a lot more deaths of people close to Honglu. Didn't happen really. Things actually just ended up going well. It was like, damn, first time fucking ever. The calm before the storm for Ryoshu. I sure about Chai is now, but see, that's not a loss to me. But sure about Chai is not a loss to me because I got bad vibes from her from the beginning. So if she's gonna go yandere, that just means I was right about my bad vibes. Less HP in future fights. Yeah, some of the fights do just, I feel like they end up being long just because they just have a lot of HP. I mean, obviously the last boss especially was, you know, just like a fucking damage sponge. Kind of intentionally, I think. And they actually nerfed the damage sponge part of it a little bit, but yeah, Canto 9 will probably be quite a shitstorm. It would fit, you know, the vibe. and too well. Because I mean, I feel like that is another. Well, that's sort of one of those things where it's like, I think that just ends up being like, if you end up disappointed with it being like too well, I think that ends up just being indeed a mismatch of expectations. Limbus just in general has conditioned us and conditioned the players to expect like crazy trauma and like fucked up shit. Especially towards the end of a canto. And specifically like for the trauma and fucked up shit to be stuff that's happening at the moment. Canto 8 has lots of fucked up shit and trauma, but it's almost all stuff that happened in the past rather than happening right now. And that's the difference. Dude, but also Lei Heng just getting fucking beheaded so easily was insane. That was so cool. And I did not expect it to happen. That shit was epic. Very sure the Canto 8 being hope-filled is the reason why KJ said that this is the story we want to tell regardless. Wait, did he say that? He thought people would want it to end in despair. And I feel like there is... the Limbus fandom has been somewhat conditioned, and they're kind of like... They like circle jerk around trauma. Like they just want loads of trauma, and like... They don't think that like... Ultimately, a lot of these stories, however, still are like... about hope and whatnot. I mean, there's a very, very, very similar thing in Arknights as well. Like, Arknights gets maybe somewhat less these days, but especially at one point, Arknights by the fandom was marketed as like the most horrific, traumatic gacha story ever. But it's always been about like hope in the face of despair. And people have just kind of missed that. People latch onto like all the sad stuff, and then they're like, oh my god, it's so sad, it's so peak. As if it's peak because it's sad. Which isn't required. Is he nearly as much pushback the concept being hopeless? No, it's for sure a minority though. I think it's still most people just, you know, love the canto. It's just, I feel like it is very easy for people to miss like the sort of... It's so easy to get caught up on like the horrible shit happening and then thus expecting it. That you then kind of forget that like there's more to it than that. I like the new Millie song. I want to hear it properly once it's been released tomorrow. Reading comprehension, no. I was hoping for him to crash out because it well deserved after everything with him. Yeah, but we actually talked about it earlier where Honglu crashing out wouldn't really be in character. It wouldn't fit, actually. Yeah. I was expecting Lei Heng to also be around in Canto 9. And then it was like... Nope. But it's also so nice to see because it almost would have... If Lei Heng survived, it would have felt like plot armor just so that he could... survive to be around in Canto 9 still. Even though, like, by all means, what happened is the part that makes the most sense to have happened. Jachu indeed had no fucking reason to let that guy leave. So, what happened made actually the most sense. But you're just conditioned from, like, so many other stories for, like, some of these bigger characters with more presence to have some form of plot armor. So it was just like, whoa, never mind, he didn't have any plot armor. Crazy. The fuck? Lei Heng was so strong with a single ring while Demian casually pulled out 7. Yep. And Jocho pulled out 5 when Vergi has like 3 as well. So that guy is fucking built different. Touched his bunui. People just expect every stream to crash out at this point. Yeah, because it has sort of happened to some extent. I mean, Well, mainly it's just because it's kind of happened with both 5, 6, and 7. But I mean, Yi-Sung didn't have like some insane crash out or anything. So I think it's more so just that the last couple of cantos have had some form of crash out every time. What exactly are the rings? The rings are essentially they're like chi, you know, they're like Dragon Ball power up, where you condense your energy into a protective shield and then you can also make it offensive. Some kind of shit like that. But also, yeah, to be fair, Kali has zero Mung. And he's still probably like the strongest motherfucker out of all the colors and so on. But also, apparently, is this a thing? I don't know if this is real. I think I just saw someone say this. I believe Shin and Mung only came around after Ruina. Like, they only were birthed after the events of Ruina. But indeed, like, Shin and Mung are just another form of, like, powering up. There's another form of buff. They're not, like, the end-all, be-all. If you're just built different like Kali, with ego and whatnot, you don't necessarily need Shin and Mung to do shit. Like, you might be like, that's useless, I don't need that. It's just another form of, you know, buffing yourself if you can. Geb finds out what Meng and Shin and Sugar 5 billion Meng. Big Brother Ricardo beats all of his Mung using frauds. Real. Dude, imagine if he gets a Mung though, it'll be on his fist. Like discounted ego. No, I think it's just a different concept altogether. Because you have like the whole thing where it's like an aura you can get around yourself to defend yourself, but then you can also like, ooh, you can condense it to be offensive as well. It's very like Asian power scaling, like anime power scaling thing where you have an aura that you can use. You know, you have chi. Or whatever. It's kind of that. Shin and Mung is literally standard form of ego in her light use that was invented by Iori. Very weaponized trauma. Of course it was fucking Iori. Not grandma. Shin and Mung trauma dumping weaponized. Yep. Weaponized trauma dumping weaponized. Yep. Yeah, Kali was, however, just built different, man. Kali's just, you know, a different beast. You know, Gilgamesh like force out, of course she's involved in fucking purple grandma. My exception will fight when we face N Corp, because yeah, we will have like an entire rematch with a bunch of people from N Corp at some point. Yeah, Nelly, Ahab, Sonya, Gubo, Cromer. I wonder if Cromer. Maybe they somehow like grabbed Cromer's fucking destroyed half or something. What is it with Project Moon and evil older women? No, it's just evil old people. The most important, see, the real lesson of all Project Moon media is that old people are evil. Okay? Sharkus brothers, Jahuan and Gubo. Absolutely. Fucking fraud brothers, man. Chroma did get fucking vaporized though, yeah. So she might just be gone. About Dante's development, we talked about it earlier. It's very nice. Specifically the part where he was like, oh, I'm talking about myself, by the way. That's why I know this shit. It's just nice to see. I mean, Dante always usually gets like some neat little bit of character development at towards the ends of cantos. Because every canto is secretly a Dante canto. No one's gonna betray us because we call her Hag. Expect Cromer to return to form an ID from another world. You mean Enforce? That's already Cromer. Or why is Cromer in quotation marks? Virgil? You mean Fergie? Fergie has 3 rings, from what we know. N-Corp slop. But Rodion gonna be the one that betrayed us? Maybe like temporarily. Oh, they did Urkling, Heathcliff, and the Red Rabbits, so maybe. Oh, like that. Right. Yeah, if they use like that to bring Cromer from like a different timeline in. Yeah. Earl King style. That's what you meant. Okay. Canto 8 is the reverse of Canto 1. Canto 8, we won everything while the end fuckers didn't achieve anything. It is the polar opposite of Canto 1. But it's also, in general, it's indeed, it's the first Canto where LCB actually just wins straight up. A tag along sinner. Well, because they've been doing the whole thing. Every single Canto, sneakily and also not so sneakily, teases the next Canto. Like, you know, this time we had a bunch of Ryoshu stuff because Ryoshu is next. They always like sneakily tease it every time. Yeah, Shin is the Aura, Manga is the Ring. Canto 9 will have a 15-minute sex scene between Dante and Virgilius. For sure. Kubo, get the worm, I'm drowning. Yeah, I know, Renta. Kind of crazy that Hongo gets both Canto 7 and 8 to himself. Fucked up. Oh, like that, a tag along. But I think it's just more so that, you know, that like, oh, well, specifically Yisang Honglu is a more like, I feel a more specific like sort of tag along thing. It's because they explore similar things. They just explored two different phases of depression. So that's why they're like the tag along, or not even a tag along. It's just, you know. All right, flip up. People Honglu third Kanto. Every Kanto after this is Honglu Kanto. Can't believe it. Mostly tease it intervalos. Yeah, well, intervalos obviously also tease it. But I feel like they're if you look, like now, if you go and look at it, you always kind of have a little bit of like, they tease a little bit. Like in the Kanto, they sort of have, whoever's Kanto is after that one, they have a little bit more of a role. They do a little bit more. Wonder who'll help Ryoshu. I feel like that's the thing. Well, I guess with Ryoshu, you might have Sinclair or something. Possibly. I do wonder. But also, at the same time, Ryoshu does kind of seem like the situation where it is like, damn, is there actually anyone to stop her? I don't know if Ishmael solo banner. I do wonder if we're gonna get Wei Yi Sung. I didn't even notice that it was indeed Yi Sung who was away in Ishmael's ID. Maybe Mersol. Well, because, yeah, who is after Ryoshu? Is it Mersol? It is, isn't it? But also Sinclair and Ryoshu have the whole thing of, you know, Sinclair being the translator, so... On a side note, if only the elders just watched Camille's streams, none of this would have happened. Maybe Camille's streams weren't entertaining enough, you know? Ryoshu, Mersol, Otis, and Faust. Okay, yeah. I remember that at least Faust was last. Replace the sweet Shishun with Ishmael, who becomes evil. What did they mean by this? Oh, also, yeah, however, there was a bit of a teaser with Jachu asking about the whole thing of like, hey, are you gonna like, are you still gonna drive, you know, or help Ryoshu, you know, do her thing, even if her thing is going down off the deep end? So I do wonder. Merso has this thing with his mother. And obviously it would make sense in the sense of like, yeah, you know, Merso is next, so if they want to have, you know, sort of that teasing part, then Which I guess, yeah, well, yeah, Russia probably would be burn focused, wouldn't it? Even though we already got a bunch of burn now, but we'll see. We didn't get Camille Honglu, the streamer Honglu. Now you know. Now looking back at it, it's like, damn, it should have been Honglu. He's already a streamer. Well, not anymore. He lost his streaming privileges, or someone broke the setup. You know. Well, someone, Jahuan. Yeah, bad in Honglu. I do wonder. We'll see what the Honglu ID is indeed like. He's still streaming, yeah, but like, well, yeah, streaming into the void, monitor broken. But they didn't even say that the monitor was like fully broken. They were like, oh, they have like it's like bad quality and delayed now. Yeah, streaming in 180p with like, delay, 144p stream with a horrible delay and like distortion, bad audio as well. Which, however, honestly, that might be worse than no stream at all. Because like, it's kind of the same, right? As like, it's worse to have bad internet than to not have internet at all. Like, if your internet is fully down, at least you can give up. But if you have like a tiny bit of internet, but it's really fucking shitty and like barely loads anything, you start losing your mind. So maybe it's actually worse. It might actually be worse than just being completely broken. Johan realized these guys were the reason his bro died. Also, possibly. That was the exact one good thing that motherfucker did. Was break the TV. Like, at least he did something good. Like, goddamn. Thank God. It's like a broken clock was correct once or whatever. Oh, I forgot. I just need to show this because it's very cool. Or, I don't know, maybe cool isn't the right word. But... look at her. Look at that face. Also, I mean, honestly, it's the cat. Fucking Miss Christine. Elders cheered when we got 5%. Probably, yeah. Fucking, they were laughing at my 5% hell, man. Fuck them. Fuck them. Those bastards. They laugh at my suffering. Shitters. Absolute shitters. How dare they? I don't think of anything. I had any other specific thoughts about the canto. Did I? Oh yeah, I haven't watched You Takes Terror. We could possibly watch that. If I don't have anything else that I had to say about the canto. Let me scroll a little and see what kind of discussion was going on. Specifically about like more story and character stuff rather than any gameplay. I'm ultimately not there for the gameplay. Let me scroll. Where are they? Where's the discussion? Elders betting with Ting Tang Honglu. Virgil isn't kind of just vibing with Pilot outside, real. Yeah, the gacha is canon, yeah. The Elders see our pulls. Fuck. Shit. They truly are just stream chat, man. Terrible beings. What am I looking for? We didn't have anything specific to say anymore. At least nothing that comes to mind is very important. Yeah, I already talked about that stuff. Oh. You mentioned the Ting Tang gambling thingy? Yeah. I bet everything. Lol, bro. He's my goat. Also, someone made a post about this specific elder here. This one's the one who's a fan of Ishmael. And then they also like, please notice how he's missing a part of his brain. Because you need to have brain damage to like Ishmael, is what they said. Damn. It's fucked up, man. And cruel. Fucking Gamba. He didn't no, he is missing his brain. If you look at this, he's missing the front of his face, which means he's missing his frontal lobe. It's like he's missing his jaw as well. Like he's been cut off from like here, which would cut off your frontal lobe. Like it cuts it off from like here, you know? He's probably missing at least a little bit. The brain, because it also looks like quite flat, you know? It looks very flat. So it should be like a... For him. Also, I mean, also there's just this. Just what? What? Oh, I guess one thing, well, someone specific mentioned how they thought that they kind of didn't, at least yet, they haven't exactly ensured us super well that, you know, like, the troubles that will come with managing Hongyuan now after this, the elders are no longer around, and it's just this quite inexperienced Shishun trying to be the hierarch. How, like, you could see that as sort of like, I feel like shit's just gonna go bad, and they didn't really, like, talk about that too much. Or, like, touch on the subject of, it's gonna be quite difficult and quite some shit, and, like, things might blow up in her face. But we are, like, the thing, maybe we have the training arc, and also, I mean, I feel like they'll just probably touch upon that later on. I feel like it's the thing. They just obviously didn't have time to go for, like, that's because that's like a, you know, that's like a long-term thing and plan and, like, solution to do. Rather than something you can quickly do in an epilogue of a canto. She also does have 3 furry armies. Unless a person who controls Heisho packs is somewhat untouchable. Yeah, but it's literally, no, it's literally just like, how does a fairly inexperienced Shishun actually just, you know, handle all the politics and admin and administration and everything of such a huge responsibility, you know? The actual, like, day-to-day of running such a, essentially, like, almost like a nation, you know? But that is indeed not something you could just quickly show in an epilogue, you know? That's a long-term thing. Also, yeah, now we indeed just, like, it is a bit like, LCB is now essentially just, like, grooming Shishun, by the way. They're like, we have the leader of a wing now technically as our ally. Let's start, like, indoctrinating her and training her. Damn. Poor Shishun. What? What? They're thinking of the wrong type of grooming, but I was gonna meet with the head too and gonna make sure none taboos are broken. Yeah, there's a lot to consider with suddenly becoming the leader of a nest, so Was Ari actually just one of the other factions vying for Hongwon? Kinda, yeah. Sorta, yeah. Kind of, yes. We are we one of them? I think so. Not even kinda. Oh, yeah, we just weren't like directly actually, but the instant we had a chance, like Sword jumped in the instant there was a chance for it. Like, let me girl boss this girl. Opportunistic grooming, kinda. Oh, what in tarnation? An added bonus. Yeah, it's like, well, now that we're here, we might as well make use of it, okay? Like them. But I'm kind of dude, I'm then kind of hoping that later on, at some point, you know, we have Shishun return, and she has like, dude, she's gone through like, indeed a training arc, and just suddenly has like way more aura. Actually just comes in and is based and Giga Chad. Milli's Carmen singing randomly during high emotion fights in the background. Imagine. Damn, Carmen can sing. Sheesh. Also, apparently she has an entire band. Somehow. In her little distortion world. Jashishin training will result in her being taller than Honglu, for sure. That's how it works, right? She's gonna go eat a whole bunch of earthworms and grow really tall. It's good protein, okay? Fantastic protein. Hope the mass death event won't affect her. Oh, true. No, the whole thing is coming around. Ikeko coming Kanto 8 or 9? Well, it should be the season, if what is what you probably are asking for. It should be the like latter end of this season, probably, because it's supposed to be September, October, which is still like it's just late season 6. Season 6, right? Yeah. It kind of achieve way better immortality. Well, kind of, yeah, I guess. Well, I mean, it's much better than the immortality that the Elders had, because the Elders' immortality was fucking dog shit, man. Like, they don't have good immortality. Those guys were fucked, man. Very funny, because Millie has another band, which is a song What Robot Needs, which is a whole song that this is AIs. Imagine Carmen singing that, yeah. Fuck you, Angela. Also, yeah, dude, seeing Bina was... Oh, and a friend actually said this, which I didn't even realize this. We now indeed, because, you know, Bina appeared or Garion appeared and whatnot, we have the first confirmed interaction between a sinner and a Sephira. Because while there was no dialogue, Bina did talk to Honglu and Jamu, like, directly. So there was an interaction between a Sephira and a sinner. Technically. Not even technically, it just is. Except she was, you know, still Garion back there instead of Bina, but you know. Honglu famous now, wow. I think Honglu was already famous. He's the Jade of Hongyuan. Also, yeah, we have the first character has been in every game. Bina is the first character to have a sprite or like a design in all of the game art styles. Damn, such privilege from Bina. Imagine Honglu recognizes her and what put it. It would be funny. It would be funny to see, yeah, Honglu if we actually run into an arbiter, and how Honglu would react. Except the thing is, that's the thing though. Honglu, especially now, is just now Honglu is like not just apathetic, but now he's just like well put together or whatever. I feel like, you know, he'd probably take it quite well, you know. It feels like he would still be fairly like unfazed, but just with a less sad undertone. Being recognizing Honglu would be sick, dude. Imagine. I feel like Honglu would be recognizable as well. This canto marks the third where exact same seagull managed to make an appearance. Dude, seagull. But also, like, the thing, I don't think Honglu would necessarily have too much of, like, anything wrong with Bina, you know? Like, he doesn't really have a reason to be angry or anything at Bina specifically. It's not like she's not the one who caused the situation. She came to clean it up. So, like, you were just doing our job. She's indeed not, she's not the bad person in this situation, funnily enough. Imagine the head didn't show up. Jamu just died. Interaction with the library would be fun. I do, yeah. I do hope we at some point do get a more direct interaction with some of the stuff from the library. Something. So there's 200% trust for some reason. I remember they're doing that. Well, I mean, maybe it just happened over time, you know. But I think if I don't think I really have too much to go through today anymore. If I do get more other thoughts, then I'll just put those. I'll put those into the Discord. We can obviously discuss more in the Discord whenever anything comes up. I think I got out most of my thoughts of what I just thought about the canto. We've been yapping for a good bit, like an hour and a half. I had a little bit more, an hour and a half, specifically about Limbus. I might have a bit of a shorter stream today. I think I have some other stuff that I could do. I might go touch some grass. Possibly. Build up for Rios canto? Well, I mean, we already got some of that, and then obviously the intervallo should build up to it more. And yeah, in conclusion, old people bad. Old people evil. That's all you have to really take away from all this. Old people evil. Side tangent? Okay, quick side tangent before I go. What is it? Oh, I think I'll save You Takes Terra for the episode of You Takes Terra for some other stream. Loving this discussion. Yeah, I think this probably will end up just being a common thing that I do, where I finish a canto on a Friday, and then Saturday we'll be like discussing it, because I don't really want to get into a long discussion on the Friday, because it's probably always late by the time that I finish. Want to see Roland and Argalia clash with quality that like Vergis Unleashes power had? Dude, there is some stuff where indeed which is just like I would really like to see, and just in general you would like to see in the far more, you know, cinematic fights and capabilities of Limbus, just being a newer game. And it gives badass Sarka's grandma in Siege Alt event. But yeah. So I mean next week is normal streams except for indeed Saturday probably. Saturday I probably will be indeed away. Actually, I think the next 2 Saturdays I'm away if nothing changes. I've been booked both Saturdays. Maybe I do an extra stream during the day. Oh, and actually before we go, this Monday, big stream, wah wah wee wah wah wah. Important stream this Monday, as it is the sort of semi-sponsored stream for Popukong, which is the co-op puzzle game by Hypergriff, the studio that made Arknights. There's a tournament where I can win money, and I will be there to win money with my partner. That will happen on Monday if there's no change in plans. So if you feel like it, come and watch and come and support me for that thing. They are also collabing with Ubisoft before the game is even out. That is funny. They have like a launch collab with Ubisoft fucking Rabbids. God, this goddamn horrible nightmare rabbits. So that will... Okay then, sure. But also, I'm just looking forward to the game in general, because I promised to play it with who my partner is, Blue. We promised to play it when the game comes out, just in general, because it's a co-op thingy. So this is just a perfect way for us to also get to just play the game on launch as well. That's pretty cool. So see you there. See you on Monday. Normally Monday would not be a stream day, but this time it's special because just because of scheduling reasons, it was easier to do it on Monday. But for now, thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. Thank you for chatting. Thank you for lurking. Go to the Discord if you want to. And see you on Monday. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Goodbye. Goodbye.